Now, can you tell me the difference between Indian Railways and Metro Train? Indian Railways train and Metro Train. What is the difference? Huh? What is the core difference? Main difference? So many changes are there. One is non-AC and there is AC. Right? But the main difference is this is intercity. That means between cities. Hyderabad to Bangalore, Delhi to Bombay, like that. Metro, local. Exactly the same thing. We have something called anchor tag. What? Anchor tag. Anchor tag is useful to navigate between HTML pages, one page to another page. And there is one more is there called link. What? Link. Link is useful to navigate between components. Page is same, but between components. Got a point? That is the difference between anchor tag and link. Now, which one we have to use for React applications? Why? I can use JSXML here also. The main reason is React application is single page application. We have only one HTML. Remaining things are components. That's why we need to use something which navigate between components. That's why we use link. But link internally uses anchor tag only again. Link internally uses anchor tag only again. Got a point? Now, what I wanted to do, I wanted to create an application. And in this application, I wanted to create navigation. What? Personal details. Means first name, last name, age, email, mobile number. Then 10th mark sheet. Then inter mark sheet. Then BTech mark sheet, like that. Now, if I click on personal details form should show. If I click on 10th mark sheet form should show. If I click on inter mark sheet form should show. BTech form should show. That I wanted to do it. If it is normal HTML pages like MPA, multiple page application, for personal details separate HTML page will be there. For 10th mark sheet separate HTML page, inter and BTech separate. Total 4 pages will be there. We'll be using anchor tag href. But here, personal details, 10th mark sheet, inter mark sheet, BTech mark sheet, all are components. Everything will be using it in index.html. Everything we use it in index.html only. That's why we cannot use anchor tag here. We have to use link. Now, link is something, it is not available by default in React. Link is not something, it is not available in React. So we have to install a library. We have to install a JavaScript library called React Router DOM. You have to install a package called React Router DOM. Then this can be available. Got your point? Confusion? So all these days we have created React.js projects. Some default packages are installing it, but if we want, we need it separate. We have to go and get it. Got your point? Clear? That we are going to try it now. Now I wanted to create something like this. I wanted to create something like this. Just components I'll create. I'll just navigate it. I want it to work in detail. So for this, first of all, I have to create a project. So here, RRD, I'm just using RRD. What actually I have done, right? Project creation is taking a lot of time. What I have done, I have already created multiple projects. Just npx create React app. Multiple projects I have created. So I have just dragged it here. The project creation is done. Just to save time. Okay. So I'm just opening it to this. It's normal only, but when I got some time yesterday, I have created multiple projects. Around 15 projects I have created. So I can simply drag it. We can say around 10 minutes time here. So now node underscore modules, everything is there. If I go to package.json, the project name here it is new project is there. So now I can change that name to RRD because here I have given the name RRD, right? The project name also I have changed it in package.json. Now I just run this project. npm. You already know how to create a project, so that's why I'm just taking simple. Now the project will be empty project will be created. Now what I wanted to do, I wanted to create different components, and I wanted to create link between all those things. For that, what I have to install React router that I wanted to install it, and I'll be showing you how to do that. In the meanwhile, what I will do here, I am creating folders called components. In this components, I am creating a component called personal details.js. And here RFCE. React functional component of personal details. Let it be for now. Okay. And what I can do, I can put it in H1. Personal details component is ready. You can create forms and all those things at that point. Likewise, I wanted to create one more 10 marks sheet dot js. And here also I'm saying or here also I'm keeping it inside. Okay, personal details, then enter. Inter means plus 2. Inter marks sheet dot or then its components I have created. 10th, inter, and personal details. BTech I want, if I want, I can create that also. Right? Now I have seen here, it's a normal, simple page. Now I want it to, now components are ready. Now I want it to display and click of it. So what I will do, I'll just come to app.js. I'll just remove all unwanted stuff. Okay. Next one here. Then come to yeah, router. If I see here, I should see a simple heading called React Router DOM. I haven't installed that package yet. React Router DOM is a JavaScript library which is not available by default. We have to install it. See, if you are taking any house for rent, fans might be available, lights might be available, TV available, washing machine available. Then what you have to do? You have to go and purchase it. Exactly the same. What we are trying. The basic stuff. It is compiling. Basic stuff is available. Now I want those components to be displayed. So I wanted to create links. Now what we have to do to work on React Router DOM to create something like this, we have to understand React Router DOM first. Now I'll just show React Router DOM. Latest version is version 6. The version 6 of that is the plugin. Okay. Now you can go to npmjs.com. You can find that. The React Router DOM package contains bindings for using React Router in web application. If you read it, you may not understand anything. But the point is simple. If you wanted to switch between one HTML to another HTML page, use anchor tag. If you wanted to switch between one component to another component, use link. That link is part of React Router. That link is part of React Router DOM, which we are going to use it. But if we wanted to use React Router DOM, we have to follow certain instructions by them. We have to follow certain rules by them. What is that? If I wanted to use a link, link is a simple tag from them, which if I wanted to use, it's like a component. Link is like a component which is created by them. If I wanted to use link, it is useful to navigate between one component to another component. We have to follow certain. What are those rules? They have something called a browser router. They have also something called browser router. They have something called routes. They have something called route. They have something called link. These are the four things we use now. Not only link, these are the four things we use. What exactly this browser router, routes, router, link does? All the pages, all the components you wanted to put it. must be inside a browser. All the components which you wanted to use must be inside browser router. That means what? You just create a browser router like this. Browser router. Understanding? So browser router. Everything must be inside browser router. First thing. And browser router holds something called routes. What? Routes. We create something called routes. And inside that, route will be there. Inside this route will be there. In this route, we will be specifying what is the component you wanted to put. That personal details or inter details or meeting details like that. You can create multiple routes. This is how the structure should be. This is how the structure should be. And the link is for like anchor tag. Works like a navigation. Works like a navigation. And I'll be telling you a bit more detail. You will be understanding. The rule is this. You know, if you wanted to use the link, everything must be wrapped inside a browser router. Everything must be wrapped inside browser router. Browser router holds routes. Routes holds routes. That is the structure. What exactly these things? Why I'll be telling you. You know, I'm coming here. Now the rule is everything must be inside browser router, right? And the browser router is also part of React Router DOM. We haven't installed React Router DOM yet, so I wanted to install it. Now, if you go to their documentation here, they have given instructions how to install it. npm I react hyphen router hyphen DOM. I means install. I means either I is also fine, install is also fine, anything is fine. So now what I will do, I'll type npm install react hyphen router hyphen DOM. React hyphen router hyphen DOM. I have just entered. I just press enter. Now what is actually happening? It is going to npmjs.com and downloading React Router DOM library and storing it in node underscore module. Now, if I see here, if I go to this node underscore modules folder, normally 815 will be there, right? 815. Normally 815 will be there. Now we should get more actually. Yeah. As of now, there is nothing called React Router DOM. As of now, it was nothing. Now I think it might have created. Now see, it is just created just now. Are you able to see it? It was not there. Earlier it was 815 only. Now it is 818. 818. Now React Router DOM is installed. Now in React, if React Router DOM is installed, that means link is available in React Router DOM. Browser router, route, all those things are available. Now which we can use it. Now what I'm going to do, I'll say import flower brackets from React Router DOM. React Router DOM has so many things. Out of that, we import what we want only. It's like this. You go for a wedding and 45 items are serving. What do? You put all 45 items into your plate. Why? We cannot eat it first of all. So you will see all those things. Whatever you wanted to eat, only those things you put it into your plate. Exactly the same. React Router DOM has so many things. But we want a few. What are those few? We want the browser router, routes, route, and link. These are the four things we want. That's why we wanted to import these four things. Now observe here, I am typing browser router, routes, route, link. These are the four things we wanted. These are the four things we wanted. And there is a rule. What is the rule? Everything must be inside browser router. So I am just deleting everything. I'm just deleting everything, and I'll just create a browser router. Everything must be inside browser router. That is the rule. It's like you go for a buffet in a hotel. The price of that buffet is just 999 only. If you go there, there might be around 50 items. Out of the 50 items, around 10 items sweets, 10 items hot, 10 items curries, rice, special rice, so many things will be there. If you wanted to go and eat that food, there is a rule. What is that rule? You cannot take that items as parcel. Yes or no? You cannot take. You take one ticket and you go there and put the 30 sweets parcel, 5 kg parcel. If you give that, it will be lost. There is a rule. Here also the same thing. If you wanted to use a link, everything must be inside browser router. Okay. So now I have created browser router. Inside this browser router, now what I wanted to do is, now I wanted to use browser router, I have imported it and I am using it. And now I wanted to create links. I wanted to create links. Link can be created inside nav, remember? So I am creating nav. Inside this nav, I can use anchor tag or I can use link. Which one is recommended? Link. Link is recommended because that is switching between components. And I'll use link. Like this. Now optional the link. I have created 1, 2, 3. Personal details is one thing, and then mark sheet is another, and inter mark sheet is another. Inter mark sheet is another. Now, if I come here, now you see, I should see that difference. I'm just running npm install. Now, what I have done, first installed React Router DOM, then imported what I want, then I have started using it. I have imported browser router, link, routes and route, and as of now, I'm using browser router and link only. These two things only I'm using it as of now. It is running the project. So it is running it now. In the meanwhile, let me tell you what is the process internally it happens. You know, we have link, right? We have link. In this link, we can tell what is the name of that link, like personal details, for example. Personal details. Now, this is link means on click of it, we wanted to go somewhere. We wanted to go somewhere. But here, link means what actually happens. URL can be changed through link. URL can be changed. Now, imagine this is the browser. This is the URL, right? This is the URL, sir. Link has the ability to change the URL. Link has the ability. It will not take us anywhere. Link has the ability to change the URL. That means what, on click of this personal details, the normal URL is local host HTTP. Actually, normal URL is HTTP / localhost 3000 is there. This is the normal URL. If I click on this, I can change the URL from this to /pd. PD means personal details. I can create one more link. 10th mark sheet. 10th mark sheet. Now, if I click on this, I wanted to go to another page. Actually, it won't take us to anywhere. It will just change the URL. That's it. Now, we can change this URL to HTTP / localhost 3000 10th mark sheet TMS. Likewise, I can change the URL. Link what actually it can do, it can change the URL. That's it. It can change the URL. Link can change the URL. Now that's what we are trying it. Now see, personal details we have created. Here personal details, 10th mark sheet and inter mark sheet. Now if I click on this personal details, nothing is happening. No URL is changing. I have observed it here. Localhost 3000 is showing no URL is changing. But now what I will do here for link, I'll say 2 is equal to, as you say, PD. That's PD. Means I am telling to change the whatever the URL /PD. That's what I am saying. Now for this, I am giving 2 is equal to /TMS. That means 10th mark sheet. And here 2 is equal to IMS. That means inter mark sheet. Okay. Now I have created these links. Now observe here what actually happens. If I click on this, are able to see URL is changed? Yes or no? So here /PD URL has changed. Are able to see it? Now I'm clicking on 10th marks TMS. It has changed. I am clicking on intermark sheet IMS. So link will not take to any other place actually. Link only changes the URL. That's it. Link ability is just to change the URL. That's it. That's what link is. Got my point? Okay. But that link also must be inside browser router. Everything must be inside browser router. Now that's why what we have created a browser router. Inside that we have kept the links. Next, we have We have worked on two things now. Browser router we have worked, link we have worked. Understanding? And there are two more things we are going to work on it. One is routes and there is route. These are the two things we are going to work on. First rule is everything must be inside browser router. First thing. And link means it changes the URL. Link means changes the URL. Link won't take us anywhere. Link only changes the URL. And we have one more thing called routes. Routes can read the URL. Routes can read the URL. Link can change the URL. Routes can read the URL. Routes can read the URL. And what exactly routes does? Routes actually can hold multiple route. Route means single component. Now see here what I am going to do. Observe here. I am creating routes which I have imported it. Inside this I am creating route. Route means single component. Now inside this route I am giving path. What? Path. The path of this component is slash PD. PD means personal details. I'll say element is equal to I'll give personal details. Now, what exactly we are doing here? Now, see what happens. Now, I have created a route. I have created a route. The path of this is a slash PD. PD means personal details, and this is the component. We have given it. Likewise, I am creating one more route. And for this, I am giving path is equal to slash PMS. That means 10th mark sheet. The component is 10th mark sheet. Then I am taking one more route. Path is equal to slash IMS, that means enter mark sheet, and element is equal to enter. Now, routes is something can hold a multiple route. Route is something can hold component. Now, personal details is a component. We have kept it inside route. 10th mark sheet is a component. We have kept it inside route. And enter mark sheet is a component. We have kept it inside. Now, each route holds one component. Routes holds multiple components. Now, see what actually happens. Whenever I click on this personal details, the URL is changing. Yes or no? The URL is changing. And whenever the URL changes, this routes can read the new URL and identifies for that new URL which is the component, which is the route, and it will display that. Link changes the URL, routes reads that changed URL and shows that particular component. Now that's what happens here. Now, if I click on personal details, now the personal details is showing. If I click on 10th marks, 10th marks is showing. If I click on enter marks is showing. Understanding? Link changes the URL, routes reads the URL, and the router reads the URL, and depending upon the URL, it takes to that particular route. Now, I am clicking on personal details actually. URL has changed to slash PD. Now, inside routes, if you see, routes reads that URL for slash PD, Which component is linked? Personal details is linked. So that's why personal details it is showing. If I click on 10th mark sheet, the URL has changed it to /TMS. Now inside the routes, now routes reads that URL which is /TMS. For /TMS, this is the component which is linked. That's why that is. Now for if I click on this enter mark sheet, we are changing the URL to IMS. Then IMS, for IMS we have given this, that issue. Understanding what I am saying? Confusion? Clear? See, okay. A mother has taken 4 kids. The mother has taken 4 kids to a dance school, for example. Now they have asked her to fill the form and we'll call. Now all the 4 kids has filled the form and given it to them, and they are just playing together. 4 kids are there; they are playing together. Now they are calling the name kid one. Who listens to that? Usually mother listens to that. Here this route is like kid, routes is like mother. Mother listens to what they are calling carefully, and they'll send the kid exactly this routes. Observes the URL whenever it has changed, and accordingly it will show that component in the route. Complicated? So it's like this. We have 4 things: browser router, link, routes, and router. Everything must be inside browser router. That we have done in our app, starting with the browser router and ending with browser router. First thing. And the second thing, when it comes to link, link has the ability to change the URL. Link doesn't have the ability to take to other component, but link has the ability to change the URL only. So now, if I click on those links, those are changing the URLs. That's it. If link has the ability to change the URL, what is the ability of routes? Read that URL. Routes read that URL. Routes read that URL, and depending upon the URL, it is telling you go. Here we have given, if it is /PD, you display this component. If it is /TMS, you display this component. If it is IMS, you display this component. Now observe here, I will create one more. I will say BTech mark sheet. Now here I will say BMS. BTech mark sheet. Now I will come here. I will click on BTech mark sheet. What is showing? URL has changed, but is there anything showing? No. Why nothing is showing? Because whenever I click on this BMS, whenever I click on this BTech mark sheet, URL is changing. Routes is reading that URL, but there is no component assigned to BMS. That's the empty. Got a point? Understood? Now this is showing fine, but I wanted to beautify a bit. Even though we call it as link, actually, but if I right click and inspect, this is nothing but anchor tag only. Now see, these are all anchor tags. We are using link, that internally using anchor tag. Got a point? If you directly use anchor tag, it won't work. If you use link, it works. Okay, now I wanted to make it a bit beautification. So now nav is there. So what I will do, I will come to app.css. Let me remove everything and I'll say now, which is the element selector, I'll say display flex direction row and row I want. Means horizontal and justify content. I'll say space around. I'm getting some space between each items. Now I should get some space between items. Now see. Now space we are getting between items. Earlier it was not. Now I wanted to give some background color to this. Say background color. We give Pomeranian color. I have given it. Now I should see some background. No, some background color. Now I wanted to increase font size a bit more. Now this link is nothing but anchor tag only. No? So I'll give anchor tag here. I'll say font size 1.5. So looking a bit bigger, if I click on personal details, 10th mark sheet, intermark sheet, BTech, nothing is shown. Nothing is shown. Got it? Are we switching between pages or are we switching between components? Components. Because we wanted to switch between components, that's why we have to use the link, not anchor. Okay, now if I click on this, nothing is showing. I don't want it to leave it blank. So what I'll do, I'll create one more component. I'll simply say page not found. If that page is not there, I want it to display this. I'll say RFCE here. I'm not focusing much on beautification. If you want, you can add some image or something and you can do it. The page not found. Now what I'll do in app.js, in routes, I'm creating that also. I'm creating route. And for this route, I'll say element. Path I have to give, yes, I have to give path. Here I'll say page. I'm giving it. And when I wanted to display anything other than these three, PD, TMS and IMS, anything other than these three things, I wanted to display it. And here, the last one, I am saying path is equal to, I just give it a star. What? Star means anything. Star means anything other than the mentioned. Now observe here, page not found is not defined, needs to be imported. Actually, not imported it actually, it should be. Not imported. Page not from. It's not importing automatically, so I imported manually. Now if I click on personal details, yes. 10th mark sheet, yes. Inter mark sheet, yes. BTech mark sheet, page not found. Anything now, if I give // okay, no. If I click on this personal details is showing. If I give / la, we don't have any route linked to that. Now what it will display? Page not. That's what. Now I can display some images inside that already. Understood what is React router now? First rule, everything must be inside browser router. That is the first. That's why what we have done. We have installed React Router DOM and we have imported this browser router, and everything we kept inside browser router. That is the first rule. And second thing is link. We cannot use anchor tag here. We should use link. The reason is anchor tag is designed to navigate between pages. I wanted to navigate between components, so I have to use link. So that's the reason I have imported a link also from browser router, from React Router DOM, and I have created those links. Normally, those links should be created in nav, so screen reader compatibility. So I have created the nav. Inside this, I have created. If it is anchor tag, you have to give href. Here 2, not href. I am giving 2 is equal to the URL which I wanted to change. The name and the URL. Now link has the ability to change the URL. Link has the ability to change the URL. Then whenever the URL changes, what you wanted to do will be decided by the routes. Now what exactly routes? Routes reads the URL whenever it is changed, and it matches. If that URL is matching with this or this or this, then based on that it will display that. That's why routes must include route. It can be any number of routes. One route can hold 100 also. Got my point? Clear? And in routes, even if you give 100, any one will be displayed at a time, not all. Only one at a time. Now see here, just to give you an example, I am removing these routes. Removing these routes. Now let us see. It is not allowing anything. It is showing error seems to. It is not showing anything. Not showing anything means what? Some error. Now if you say right click, inspect. So error we got it. Now route must be inside routes. It's not allowing even. So routes behavior is routes reads the URL and show the route which is related to that URL. Any one at a time. Personal details, 10th marks, inter marks, page now. Okay. We have given in our component. In component, we have given. Our component doesn't have anything except HTML. Now, I wanted to create forms there. Now, in our 10th mark sheet, basically single heading is there. I wanted to create the form, 10th form. In intermark sheet, nothing is there except a single heading. I wanted to create that intermark sheet form. Like that. Now, I wanted to create personal details form as a separate component, 10th mark sheet as a separate component, intermark sheet as a separate component, and put those things inside routes, inside browser router, and through link you just navigate. Can be done now. That I wanted to do it. Understood the concept? Yes, sir. Now browser React Router DOM has so many concepts. Even though they have so many, I don't want everything. Now you wanted to purchase some furniture, you go to IKEA. How many items will be there in IKEA? So many. Do you want everything? No, we want very few. Whatever you want, only you purchase it. Here also the same. Whatever we want, We want only those things. So now what we want a browser router because everything must be inside, and we want link because to change the URL. We want routes because to read the URL. We want router to be putting inside routes. These four things we want. That's why we are importing those four. We are importing those. Actually, there are few more things are there. We have something called use navigation, use location, navlink. There are few more things are there, but we'll be discussing about that a bit later. Right now, if I discuss it, it will be a bit heavy. Okay, what we are working is just a part one of React Open DOM. There are so many other things are also, which we'll be covering at later point of time, piece by piece. Overall, understood the task. What is the task? 10th mark sheet, inter mark sheet, personal details, and I want with the proper validation. Validations means if in the 10th mark sheet you enter the marks, it should say pass or fail. You click on submit button, total, and the like details it should be displayed. The same thing for inter also, right? For personal details, first name, last name, age, email, mobile number should be there. Age should be valid value. Less than 120, valid. Greater than 122. That I wanted to display for now. Gradually we'll be working on further. For each and every subject you are using must be you should use on focus, on blur, on change. All the three I wanted. On focus for changing the background color and showing instructional text. On change showing the result. On blur you are on highlighting that color and hiding the instruction. Understood React router DOM? React router DOM is something we don't get it by default. We have to install it, and that's what we have. Clear? Understood? What is the package name? React. Yes. React router. Actually, there is something called React router by React Facebook or Meta Teams. They have improvised this React router and they have created React router. Okay, clear? I want you to try this. Right now, I have simply showing page you had not found. Now, what you can do? Yes, you can display some nice image also. Now, it's a page not found. I go to images. I can get some good images also. This you can add there, and that will be or not for the other page. Now I just take this for example. Now I say right click, copy image address. I'm taking this, and I'm coming to page not found, and here instead of this I'll take img src equal to, I'll just paste, copy image address actually. I'm clicking on this. Copy image address. This is the image address. Now if I come here and see, if I type anything, Rajanikanth. Do we have any component which linked to Rajanikanth? No. It just page not found. You can put some alignment center or all this. Okay. For this heading is showing, this heading is showing, this heading is showing. Like this again. Okay. Let me create a task. Research it, you'll find it.